Hello, my friends, and welcome to Paulina Art. For Mother's Day, I bring you this painting of a mother and child inspired by Picasso's mother and child painting he did in 1902. I don't know how Picasso did his painting or what techniques he used, so I'm going to share with you the techniques that I use to create the interpretation of this painting. I'm doing this painting because I love to challenge myself, and I find I learn a lot by painting my own interpretations of the masters. In this video, I'm going to show you step by step how I created this painting. I'm going to link my Facebook page with the final painting. If you would like to see how I created this mother and child painting, stay with me and let's paint together. The colors that I'm using today are titanium white, lamp black, ultramarine blue, cobalt blue, viridian green, raw amber, burnt sienna, yellow ochre, and lemon yellow. Today I'm working on 11 by 14 canvas, and I did my drawing on a different paper. I do that because I do a lot of changes on my drawing until I'm happy, and once I'm happy, then I transfer it onto the canvas with some carbon paper. There's many ways of doing the drawing. You can use the grid method, the Loomis method. There's a lot of methods out there. What I do is I don't look at a mother and a child. What I do is I look at the geometrical figures. For example, this is an oval. This whole part is a circle. This is an oval. This is a triangle. The hand is a triangle. Once I have my geometrical forms, then I start placing the features on the face. I have printed a couple of photos. One is the color and another one is the black and white. And this is going to help me when I'm applying my colors to see the different values on the color. If you don't have a printer, you can work from your phone. I normally work from my phone, but I thought I printed this to show you. When I look at the prints, I think that the easier thing to do this painting is to start with an underpainting that is going to look a little bit like this. I'm going to be painting with my Castle Arts acrylic paint. I just purchased this acrylic set. I've tried it a couple of times and I'm going to be doing a review very soon. So with a small liner brush, I'm going to pick up the black color from my acrylic set. Then I'm going to trace my drawing. I'm going to do this so my drawing doesn't get lost underneath the paint. And I have a small brush to clean up if I make a mistake. And my drawing and painting doesn't have to be identical to my reference photo because this is an inspired by painting. I'm not trying to do a reproduction at all. But just an inspired version. This tracing for me is the hardest part. But the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And I have a very good liner brush. This is from the Mont Marte brush set. I did a review on these brushes. I'm going to link my review on the description box below in case you're interested. I love the expression the mother and child have in this painting. Very loving and content. Now that my tracing is done, I'm going to do a bit of an underpainting. And I'm going to use this flat brush from the same Mont Marte set. And I'm also going to use some floating medium. This is folk art floating medium. This is going to help the acrylic paint blend. If you don't have floating medium, you can use any acrylic matte medium like Liquitex or a blending gel. Okay, I'm going to pick up some of my floating medium and coat my brush. And then I'm going to pick up some black on the corner and blend it. I want the black to remain just on that corner of the brush. And with this, I'm going to do my underpainting. I'm going to follow all the shadows that I see on my reference photo. And my floating medium is going to help me blend beautifully, as you can see. My reference photo is guiding me, and this small brush helps me clean up. There's a lot of shadows in this painting. I think once we get this done, the painting is gonna be half done, really. Gotta do this on the face too. There's a shadow that comes down here. And with a clean brush, I'm just softly going to blend the edges. Trying to create the movement of fabric in here. And I have no idea how Picasso did this painting. I am a self-taught artist. I never went to school to learn art, so I don't know. I just look at the painting and decide what would be the easiest way or the only way to do it for me. And like I mentioned earlier, this is not a replica. This is just an inspired by painting. The floating medium does such a great job in this kind of work. It really does what it's supposed to do. I'm going to move to this very small angle brush from my paintbrush set, and I'm going to do floating with this. There's two blues on this set of acrylic paints. I have ultramarine blue and cobalt blue, and I'm going to be using both of these colors. And I'm going to be using some warm colors as well, but I'm not sure at this point which ones. When I look at my reference photo, I see a lighter blue, darker blue, and some kind of warm orangey brown shade up here. So I'm going to try to come up with similar colors. This is not a reproduction, but at the same time, I don't want to deviate completely from the reference photo. My first layer is going to be a light layer where I'm basically establishing the colors that I'm going to use. I'm going to start with a light layer of cobalt blue. I have water in here, just a little bit of water. And I'm going to start adding my colors. And because this layer is so light, I can see what I've done. I can see the work that I've already done behind this layer of paint. And that's what I want. And I'm also going to start incorporating some of the ultramarine blue in this corner. And it doesn't matter if the blending is not so great at this point, because this is the first layer. I'm just establishing the colors that I'm going to be using. I really like this watercolor effect on the background. I'm going to add some of the cobalt blue on the mother's veil. And I'm dotting my brush because I see that on the painting. This is not smooth on my reference photo. I'm adding a drop of yellow with these colors. I feel maybe the blue needs to be a little more greeny blue. See, at this point I'm playing with the colors and seeing what's gonna work for the painting. I'm now mixing some raw amber with ultramarine blue, and I'm going to paint the mother's hair with this color. I feel once this is done, it's going to give me a good idea on how the painting is looking. And it'll give me a reference on what colors to use for the rest of the painting. And I'm using my reliable old brown brush. I paint just about everything with this brush. Always have a small brush to clean up if you need to. And I'm going to add a little bit of the same color just on this area of the child's hair. I really don't have a magic formula on how to do these paintings, but just what I'm showing you today, some steps I always follow. I find they're very helpful, the ones that I'm sharing with you. But the rest I just improvise. And that's the only way you're going to learn how to paint. Even if you have a good teacher, even if you go to art school, the only way you're going to learn is by doing it. I'm mixing now titanium white with cobalt blue to create this pale blue. And I'm going to use this color to put a base on the face. I'm going to put that up here as well, on the lighter parts of the veil and on the child. And the hand as well. But the layer is thin enough that I can see my underpainting. And because I did my underpainting with black, I can really see it, which is what I want. I'm going to put a thin layer of ultramarine blue on the clothes and the shawl. And I'm following the shape of the garment with my brush strokes. And I have a little bit of water to dilute the paint, not too much. Fingers are great blending tools. I'm picking up now some raw umber with burnt sienna, just to create a darker burnt sienna. And I'm going to apply a layer of this on the child's hair. At the same time, I'm defining the mother's profile when I'm doing this. I'm going to add a little bit of that color in here too. And my first layer of paint is done. I'm going to let all of this dry and stand back, look at it, and continue after all this is dry, maybe a couple of hours. Okay, my paint is dry. It's been quite a while, and this is good because it gives me a good idea how my colors are looking together, and because when they dry up you can see the colors better. I want my blues to have more green, so I'm going to incorporate some Viridian green with my blue just to make it a more greenish color. Just needs a drop of the green really. I'm going to add a second coat of paint. This is another light coat of paint. And because I allowed the paint to dry, it's not going to lift what I've done before. And acrylic painting is all about the different layers of paint that you apply. The more layers, the more depth the painting will have. And I'm adding more ultramarine blue in this side, like I did on my first layer of paint, with a drop of Viridian green. And I'm going to add a second layer on the veil as well. And now I'm mixing ultramarine blue with a drop of Viridian green. And I'm going to apply another coat on the garments. going to start defining the hands and the face now. And I'm going to use a small round brush. And I'm going to mix both of my blues, maybe with a drop of the green. I'm going to start with the hand, just to practice a little bit before I get to the face. I'm going to add some shadows in here to define the hand. And again, I'm following what the reference photo is telling me. I'm going to move to the child's face now. And I'm applying my dark. I will go back and apply the light later. And because I did a bit of an underpainting, this is guiding me. And I'm going to correct with my small brush. I'm going to go back with my liner brush, and with black I'm going to redefine the features that are a little lost underneath these layers of paint. Okay, so I trace with black everything that I had traced when I started the painting. I'm going to add more shadows in some areas of the child and mother's face. And for that I'm using some ultramarine blue with a very small drop of black, and I'm going to test if this works. And I'm just going to dab the shadows because, as you know, blending with acrylic paint can be quite challenging. And I feel this is the darkest part of the face. And on this side of the child's face. And with the cobalt blue, I'm going to add a lighter in here. Actually, I added a bit of white. And I'm going to add some highlights to the parts that are skin, the mother, the child, and the hand. And for that, I'm going to mix white with a drop of yellow ochre. I want a pale ochre like this. And I'm going to use a small round brush to add the highlights. And I'm improvising, so I will see if these colors work. And I'm going to add the light where I see, where my reference photo shows me that there's light. I'm going to work on the child's and mother's hair. I have burnt sienna, yellow ochre, and yellow. And with these colors, I'm going to add more light to the child's hair. And I'm just dabbing my brush to create the effect that I see on the painting. And I'm going to add some of the same color to the mother's hair. It adds to the painting. And I'm going to add some of that in here, because I see some warmth on this side of my reference photo. And I'm going to add a wash of warm on the ear, the same color but washed down. So I see some warmth in there. And I'm going to add a little bit of warmth on the fingers here. I mean, I see this on my reference photo. I'm not sure if I'm imagining it, but I'm going to add some cobalt blue in here, which I think I see on my photo as well. I'm going to add some cobalt blue with white and a drop of yellow ochre, just small amount. I'm going to start adding some highlight to the garments. I'm just testing the colors. I feel it needs more yellow. I added a drop more yellow ochre, and I think I like it better. I'm going to apply a third coat to the background using the same colors that I did before. I am basically emphasizing the colors at this point, making them more opaque, adding more layers to my background. I'm adding some ultramarine blue with black on this section just to darken it up a bit more. Okay, my friends, I added more of the lighter color on the clothing and just dab it a little bit to blend it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to define the mother's hair just with my liner brush and some black. I'm just I'm being creative here because I don't see the detail very well, but I think this looks nice. And I can go back and touch up with my liner brush any areas that I feel they need to. I feel this is a very modern painting, but at the same time I feel it has some Byzantine elements to it. I'm going to finish some of these touches, and I think the painting is pretty much done. Okay, my friends, the mother and child painting inspired by Picasso's beautiful composition is done. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you learned something new. If you like this video, please give it a like, comment below, share with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any future content from me. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.